The story of love is as old as the world and the universe itself. We still love, even though we know that it could hurt. And we don't stop loving. I think that's what makes us human.
I had a lot of dreams with my dad. I even had a dream one time that he came here. And in that dream, he told me he loves me. I'm coming for you. But I woke up.
There's times where I really needed a father figure in my life. There's a part of you that you don't know about. Like, it's completely a mystery to you.
All my life I've grown up knowing that my dad was dead. He died working for the army. They told me that they would help me find my dad. So I was like, what is he saying? Doesn't he know that my dad is dead?
Something wasn't adding up about this. I did not believe that this bloke was dead. And there's a father somewhere. We just have to pin him down.
For the first time, children abandoned in Laikipia and Samburu could soon know their fathers. This unprecedented legal battle could ripple far beyond the 11 cases.
We had thousands and thousands of British soldiers coming to Nanyuki every year.
They're training, right? And in that time, they're getting hundreds of local women pregnant.
The British Army has not been conducting itself very well.
And these kids are everywhere. This is just but a tip of the iceberg.
Now you're telling me he's alive and living and breathing.
Nothing like this has ever been done before, where you're engaging DNA testing on such a scale to find out where these men are. Something is happening in Nanyuki, and it's been happening for decades.
The point at which I noticed that I don't have a dad is when I was in school. All parents were coming in pairs, and I was there like, my mom comes alone, why isn't there someone else there? So I just randomly popped the question. I was like, Mom, how comes I don't have a dad? Because everyone else has a dad in school and I don't. She's like, oh, your dad passed away when he was deployed to Afghanistan. So when people asked me, even my friends, hey, is your dad coming over, blah, 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 I'd be like, oh, my dad died when he was in the army, so. I went back to leading a normal life. But when I turned 10, my mom got a phone for the house. She told me, don't go on Facebook. And me being me, I was like, why is mom telling me not to do this? Like, what is there? So I took her phone and started scrolling. And I saw the surname. I rushed to mom and I shoved her phone in her face and I'm like, Mom, who is this? I'm curious, like, the same surname? Hello? Actually, she tells me to just sit down and it's a long story, and that's when she starts like explaining everything from the top.
Oh, yeah.
The first time I met Kadi's father, I was 26 years old. He was very funny, handsome, kind, generous. Just him looking at my eyes, I was like, this is it. You know, there was chemistry. Like when you met someone and you fell in love. And he was with the British Army, and we just used to walk around the town. We were in love, I would say. He loved me and I loved him. Yeah. And then he would send me letter, maybe 1 or 2 a month. My dear darling Maggie, I can't wait to hold you in my arms and feel you every week. My love, hope you and your son are okay. I miss you so much. I promise that I will do anything for you. I could sleep, I could not eat. I was like excited, like I can't wait to see him, you know. You feel you're on the top of the world, you know, that kind of feeling. Then on his holiday, he came back. And then he just went on one knee and said, will you marry me? I was shaking, my legs were shaking, I was sweating, my hands were sweating. And he said, please say yes. And I was like, yes, you know. It was nice. He gave me a ring. To him, it's like he has given me everything, like engagement, marriage, and eternal. That's what he called it. After a month, I didn't receive my periods as normal, so I decided to go for tests. So that's when I found out I'm pregnant. He called me to show me how happy he is. Then we start making arrangement for wedding. He came when Kathy was 7 months. And he was very proud because he could walk holding her like this everywhere we go. Kathy was lucky because we were fighting over her. We stayed for 4 weeks, and then he went back, and that's when he was quiet. From that time, we never hear or see him again.
It's begun as small individual cases. They involve men who came to Kenya as soldiers on duty to train and become battle ready. In the course of their training, they father children. My practice of law has always been to seek justice for those whom even finding justice is nearly unachievable or unrealistic. Karibu sana, ma'am. Karibu sana. The women and children who've been abandoned by their soldiers brought their issues to me. And these kids are everywhere. We are trying to establish your heritage and paternity. It was impossible to institute any family proceedings against the fathers in Kenyan court because the individual fathers were in the UK. There was no way I would even be able to prove to the court that I had properly served the fathers. I had hit a dead end. The only way of holding the British Army into account would be to find solicitors and barristers in the UK to be able to put up their claims in the UK.
There are certain cases that stand out for whatever reason. It's like no other case that we've ever seen as a firm. If you look at our cohort of cases, the youngest child is 1.5 years. The eldest one is a man in his own right who is nearly 70. And we've got cases every decade between those two.
I now saw everything fit into a jigsaw puzzle. I think James was this missing piece. I could see he was really passionate about seeking justice for these women and children.
It really pisses me off, these men sleeping around, getting these ladies pregnant in whatever circumstance, going back to England and washing their hands of it and thinking that they've been absolved from all sort of parental responsibility. Just because your kid's in Nanyuki and not in Northampton doesn't mean they don't exist, right? And it's not like this is the only thing that the British Army have been up to in Nanyuki, right? I mean, they've been up to a lot.
The National Assembly has launched an inquiry into alleged atrocities inflicted on Kenyans by the British Army.
A landmark inquiry against the Royal British Army.
A parliamentary report accused British soldiers of decades of sexual abuse, killings, human rights violations, and environmental destruction.
The British Army has not been conducting itself very well.
The British Army has come to Nanyuki bearing both the roses and the thorns, which include all these allegations on rape and sexual harassment.
The British soldiers, the Johnnies, they came. They raped us from 1960s up to date.
No more rape! No more rape!
There is a clear pattern in the nature of these cases.
They have actually acted like they are above the law. And Mr. Speaker, it is time this House puts its foot down.
It really shows the inequality of our relationship and the impunity to a large extent of the British military.
This has changed from a partnership to some sort of, I don't know what to call it, or some occupying presence.
This one is my mother's. That one's for my grandfather. This one for my mom. When I used to ask my grandma if my mom was the one buried there, she used to tell me just leave it at that. My name is Nkirote Yvonne Chaka Chaka. People call me Yvonne. I've grown up with my grandma, my grandpa before he died. I was raised by them because my mom died and my dad was nowhere to be found. Every day in the afternoon, I always come here. Just make a short prayer. I always tell her not to leave me, to always be by my side. Even though I won't see her, I still love her, and I still need her.
Mpaka utoto wake, mama yake alimuacha akiwa na miezi 7 na tukaona tutatupa mtoto.
All my life I've grown up knowing that my dad was dead. My grandfather used to work in Batuk. He was a barber. He brought a message. I think the soldiers that worked with my dad said he died working for the army. And after that, that was the end of everything. Like the story of my dad. I'm like, no dad, no mom. So was I just an orphan?
Yvonne was a very interesting case. I remember I was driving all the way to Kaderi, where Yvonne is. In Yvonne's birth certificate, there was no father's name ever listed. Her grandma has little to no trace of information. He was erased from Yvonne's life, so there was no way of finding him.
Kevin told me that they would help me try to find my dad. So I was like, what is he saying? Doesn't he know that my dad is dead?
And I remember telling James that I was quite certain that we would be able to find Yvonne's father.
The report says, the grandmother stated to me at the end of 2009 she was informed by others who work at Batuk that the father had passed away. I didn't believe it. I did not believe that this bloke was dead. But how the hell were we going to find this guy? We had to think outside the box a little bit and get creative.
That bombshell arrest, that former police officer who authorities say went on a reign of terror for so many years.
Detectives working the case for decades say cutting-edge DNA testing allowed them to make a match.
He was tracked using DNA through a genealogy website.
The site identified someone who had the same great-great-great-great-grandfather as the killer. From there, investigators built an elaborate family tree and then used a process of elimination to zero in on suspects.
A fellow lawyer had this light bulb moment. What if we could take the tech used in the Golden State case and use it for Kenya in the family courts? Then I'm put in touch with Denise Sindicom-Court at KCL Genetics, who's astoundingly impressive, and she just says, well, yeah, of course we can do this, why not, why not?
It's not DNA that I find particularly interesting. It's, I would say, looking for the evidence. It's finding solutions to problems, and this is a solution to a problem about who somebody is and where they come from.
We travel out to Kenya, and we had absolutely no idea what was going to happen. We went armed with a suitcase full of DNA kits. On the first day, I'd met with, I think, 7 or 8 mothers, and the stories were all identical. And then day 2, another 6, 10, 12 people, and every day was the same. And then the cases started getting more and more challenging.
I'm just going to wipe it inside your cheeks.
When I saw Denise, now my heart was like, this is going to work. Because I couldn't believe this old woman will come all the way from there to here to come and do nonsense work.
The news has got around in Nanyuki a bit, so more people are coming to the lawyers in Kenya.
After the first day, I remember going back to my room and thinking, how are we going to manage all of this? Because it's just so many.
The first time I heard about the British Army case, my uncle called me. He told me there's some guys looking for you. At that time, I had stopped thinking about my dad, because it was causing me a lot of pain, My mom and my dad met in a club. She was 17. She was very in love with my dad, a lot. When she found she was pregnant, it was too late. My dad had already left. She had an address. She tried to write some letters, but never got replied. We were living poor, We were sleeping on the floor, Sometimes we sleep without eating. My mom was having a very, very hard time because I was the only white child in our slum. People always pulling me down, calling me all these names. This color have brought me a lot of problems and struggles and discrimination and bad things, I was missing a lot, So I tried my best to find my dad. I didn't give up on him. We went to the British camp with my mom. We tried to get some help from them, but they always chased us away. So I remember that time I took few drinks and I decided that day I would go inside. And I jumped. This is the wall I jumped over. They caught me and chased me away, like they always do. I got damaged by the laser wires. I don't even know if I have those marks. It came a point that I couldn't do anything about my dad, enough is enough. Let me forget about him, you know? All my energy was gone. I was hopeless. And since that day, I've been very hopeless.
I waited for this guy for 5 years, reading the letters, going through the messages that he used to send me, try to contact the mother. You know, I waited for him for 5 years, thinking that maybe one day he'll just show up. I was doing everything that a human being can do to show him, like, this is what you left behind. It's something good. I have done a good job. I have tried, you know. This is your daughter. And I'm like, please, you know.
I'm trying to understand why he's not here. So I'm like, maybe he thinks we're dead. That's when we decided to text him. The first message I sent to him was just me introducing myself. I was like, hi, I'm your daughter. I'm 10 years old. The first times I was like, oh, maybe he's busy. Maybe he'll reply tomorrow. So I was constantly checking my Facebook. He blocked the account and we had to make another one and another one and another one. Eventually I just like lost hope and just like, I did continue texting, but didn't expect anything.
Hey Phil, this is Kate again. I know you blocked me, but let me tell you, the world is small, so no matter how many times you block me, you're still my father. So man up and deal with your responsibilities, because I'm tired of being called a bastard in my family and people always asking me where my father is and I have to tell them you're dead. Me knowing fully well that you breathe the same air as me.
He's like a ghost at this point because there's nobody I'm actually talking to.
And he never replied? Nope.
So we took these DNA samples in December, and it wasn't until the end of January, beginning of February, that they started to trickle through. We were completely taken aback.
We can see that we've got 16 allele in common at that marker, 14 in common, 15 in common.
Nothing like this has ever been done before, where you're engaging DNA testing on such a scale. We had no idea how many leads we'd get, and we were astounded how many good results. We had completely distant family members, we had relatively close family members, all the way up to the bullseye hit of fathers being named and identified.
After they left with my DNA, I was feeling everything at the same time. I was nervous, I was confused, I was happy, you know. I couldn't sleep for almost 2 weeks. When I was about to get the results, I told myself, please God, just let the results be positive and my dad is still alive.
So Peter, can you hear me properly?
Kelvin, hello.
So we've now had the results back from the DNA centre, the lab, and I've got some exciting news for you. We have been able to find your dad.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, so we've got a direct hit.
Yeah. I felt some hope. Hope came back. It was the best day of my life. Yeah.
So each case does have a letter. And we're going case A, case B, case C sequentially. We're now up to cases Q and R today. I've got S, T, and U waiting to be issued. I'm just waiting for a few bits and pieces to come in on those. But at this rate, we're definitely going to run out of letters. Case A. That's Yvonne leading proceedings. This was a proper needle in the haystack.
When the results came back, we didn't find anything close enough to make an easy, direct relationship. But there was a distant match, yes.
So all of a sudden, this distant relative of Yvonne just pops up on Ancestry.com. So I sent her a few emails, and then nothing. Maybe a month went past, and then all of a sudden I get a call through from reception. And the lady says, oh, it's this relative on the phone. Let's call her Mrs. A. I thought, hold on a moment, let's take this call because it's a pretty big deal.
I spoke to James on the phone, telling us that through my DNA, they'd found a relative in Kenya. It was a huge surprise, and to begin with, I thought couldn't connect anything with Kenya.
She said that there was nobody in her family who had any connection whatsoever with the British Army or with Kenya or with Nanyuki, apart from two lads. Two guys who were the sons of her first cousin. And that was our way into this case.
My cousin said that both her sons were in Kenya, but only one of them was in the army. And she sent me an article, probably written in about 2006, 2007, when her son was in Kenya, and all the good work that he'd been doing.
So we were completely shocked. If this is right, this guy has led his daughter to believe that he's dead, when he's very much alive.
And then I was like, no, but he was dead. Yeah, how can he be alive again? Maybe he was just somewhere hiding. He just sent someone to lie that he's dead. I feel disowned.
I love farming. I have it from my grandfather. Most of the trees and fruits we planted together. So we have oranges. Some oranges there. We have mangoes. They are sweet passion fruits. This is one of the oldest trees in this farm. It was the first tree that my grandfather planted when we bought the farm 50 years ago. So this is the father of all trees in this farm. Most of them came from this tree, the avocados. It even looks like a family tree, how it's growing.
Are you interested to meet all your wider family?
Yeah, I'm much more interested in that. Yeah. I want to be in that family tree, you know? Yeah.
There's no playbook for this. There's nothing that says, oh yeah, this is how you introduce a dad to their long-lost son. I was nervous about it, I think we all were. I think it was as well the first child to speak to their parent of all of these cases.
Thank you so much for joining us. There's someone I'd quite like you to meet. You can see him. This is Peter.
Jambo, how are you? I'm happy to see you. At first, I couldn't speak, you know. My heart was shaking. The only words came out of my mouth was, I called him Dad, you know. That's the only thing that came out of my mouth. I'm fine, Dad. He told me he's really sorry. He didn't know about me. And I should believe him that he didn't abandon me. That's the words he said to me. Yeah, and I told him it's not about that, Dad, you know. What matters now is that I found you, you know.
I'm happy to see you.
So today the court is going to be dealing with cases G, H and O. The fathers in those cases, they've agreed to the declarations of parentage being made.
Case J, case J, case J. There we are. Kathy.
She's one of the few where the dad has, from the outset, engaged quite positively and accepted parentage.
When I heard he accepted it, I'm like, all this process would have been so unnecessary if he agreed to it in the beginning. Now at least I know that he knows that I'm alive and looking for him, and at least he's agreed to something. Growing up, I felt like I really needed a father figure because there's some things that my mom couldn't understand because of race and all that. It made me feel really lonely, actually.
Sometimes she will want something from me, but she doesn't want to ask me because she knows I can't afford. You know, then she will take that on herself. Last year, it was hard in a way that we went homeless. Something that has never happened in my life, ever.
The emotional pain became physical. Like I could feel my heart hurting. I could feel everything like was too much. I didn't know who to go to. I thought it would be better if I just died.
I was pleading with him, please talk to me. Help our daughter.
I can't undo all that. It just doesn't go away. It's gonna stick with me till the day I die.
Me and Kate have been talking on the phone quite a few times. Said, you know, mate, I'll be understandable if you're angry with me. It's always been there in the back of my head. You know, it's like, you can't just have a child in this world and forget about it. Went to Afghanistan. I've lost a few friends on the way, you know, and it's like, it does affect you, you know. You start trying to forget things. Transitioning into civilian life wasn't easy. You know, I've just been made homeless. I wasn't really in a good headspace to be anything, really, you know what I mean? So I was right at the bottom of the barrel, basically scraped through the bottom of the barrel, and what's underneath it, that's the place where I was in. She got in touch with me on Facebook, but I wasn't in the right frame of mind at the time. I know a lifetime's not going to make up for it, but at least I can try, you know. I talk to Kate as much as I possibly can. She was just so much like me. We were having a right giggle in there, you know what I mean? It's like well, I've never been away kind of thing. It's quite upsetting, really, because I was like, how much of a laugh have I missed with my own daughter?
So this morning, we are dealing with Yvonne's case first. That's case A. This is our orphan, or not so orphan. So we issued this application 26th of June, and we're now the 3rd of December, and we still haven't found this bloke. So he's gone to ground, we can't find him. We've tried the best part of what, a dozen times? 10, 11 times? Her dad is still evading us, we think. Now, we've had 3 different addresses for him. He seems to be moving around a lot. We've sent the bailiff round, I think about 10, 11 times now. Still can't pin him down.
So today's outcome for that case is we're going to try getting hold of his mother.
Let's get Granny in.
Get Granny and see what she'll tell us.
I feel a bit sorry summoning Granny to court.
Yeah. But
we haven't really got much
there's
other
no alternative, really.
There really isn't. He might have a really good explanation as to why this 17-year-old girl believes that her dad is dead. We're in front of the highest family court judge in the land. If you choose to ignore a high court order, then there's going to be consequences for you. And ultimately, Yvonne deserves to know who her dad is.
The first conversation with my dad, I think it was the best. But after we finished the court papers, everything changed. I don't know why. Even my dad just replied now. Morning, Peter. Hope you're doing well. Please rest assured that I do care about you. We all respect your feelings, and it's been only 3 months, and we are still processing as a family. Please be patient. He's not so much interested in me. That's what I feel, you know. I'm not there to come and disturb him or his family. I just want to go to my dad's place, have a beer, grill some meat, some sausages, go fishing, and cover those years that we haven't been together, you know? It's all I want. Yeah, just a dad.
Today is the 4th hearing that we've got in relation to the now 21 cases we've got in front of the judge. It might be that Yvonne's father just pops up at court today. I'll be very surprised if that happens. Shall we go? Out of nowhere. The last thing I'd expect was that, honestly. It was unheard of. But I haven't had such an astounding day in court ever, I think. The man we've been chasing for months and months and months was just there opposite me, as if nothing had ever happened. I don't know whether it's guilt or shame or embarrassment or the fact we'd involved his family members or... I mean, we were applying to arrest him today. We're applying for a bench warrant.
He has agreed to a DNA test, and that will resolve it for him.
Either way.
You know, for everybody, so that one way or the other.
And now it's just the agonising wait to get the DNA results. And
James, I've got these results for you. Would you like to have a look?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I think when we went to see her, we didn't have really any hope at all, did we? it's life-changing, isn't it?
I think we should tell her.
Yeah.
Yvonne has entered the waiting room. Hi, Yvonne. Can you hear us, see us?
Hi,
Pretty much fine, James.
Hi.
How are you doing, Yvonne?
Good.
I wanted to call you today because we have some news for you. Yvonne, we found your dad. We didn't know what we'd get, but we were able to find him. And he's there, he's in England, I've met him, he's alive. How do you feel?
I'm just saying I'm kind of excited. Like, I'm just shocked because I never thought he would reveal himself. After all those years. Yeah.
We can't promise you anything. He's not obliged to do anything. It's up to him and his conscience. I can ask him, I can ask your father if you'd like to meet him. Would you want me to ask that?
If you want to meet me, then I also want to meet him. I'm ready. Yeah.
This is the beginning to justice for millions of children who've been in the circumstances of this small number of cases that we've been able to prove here in Kenya. Your DNA, even when dead, still lives. Might not be through you, but through your living relatives. Your DNA will always be living. And as long as it's living, we'll always find you. We as human beings, we thirst for our heritage. No matter how old we are, we always want to feel that we are a child to someone.
These people aren't looking for a quick buck, they're not looking for a payout, and they want to know who their dads are. It's your fundamental right to know who your family is, your identity, your heritage. And these young people are now in a situation whereby they can actually turn on a light for the first time in their lives to find out who their dads are, as is their right.
Happy birthday to you. Shambulise. Last month, my dad texted me and told me, "Happy birthday, son." That's all he wrote. It was my first wish for my dad to tell me happy birthday, you know. Till today, all my 33 years, I've never celebrated my birthday. I always make birthdays for my son. I always make sure he don't miss his birthday and he gets what he wish. I will never leave him. Never. I always like him on my side, always, you know. I will try to do my best and not to repeat the mistakes my dad did. I will always make sure he blow his candle every year. Yeah. He will never miss any candle. Yeah.
all the issues to do with paternity, they're a private life issue. And we are there to support and answer any or deal with any allegations that come in. I think the important thing is for people who have those concerns or allegations that they then go through the correct channels. There's the opportunity to engage with the Kenyan National Children's Service. They then engage with the UK, and we then provide whatever support in terms of answering questions and dealing with those allegations as they come in. In response to the parliamentary inquiry, there have been regular meetings between both the UK and the Kenyan Ministries of Defence to talk about what was highlighted in that inquiry and providing a response, and that work is ongoing. And we deeply regret any negative impact from our presence in Kenya.